Hi there, this is David and welcome to New RPG News. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today, from some Dragon Quest news to Disgaea, to Star Ocean, to PlayStation, to Tokyo Game Show, to a Nintendo Direct. But first, before we do get started talking about all that kind of stuff, I do want to talk about this Nintendo Direct in particular because by the time that y'all are watching this video, the Direct has already happened. However, I'm recording this video right now on Wednesday the 13th, the day before the Direct comes out, so this video is not going to cover the Nintendo Direct, and let me tell you why. Tomorrow, at 8 o'clock in the morning, and the Direct is set for 7 o'clock in the morning, at 8 o'clock in the morning my flight is taking off to New York. I'm flying to New York because my cousin is getting married this weekend, and I won't be able to watch the Direct as it happens, and I won't be able to make a video reacting to it because it's literally an all-day long flight. I'm not going to be landing in New York until 7:30 at night, and then I have to drive like another 3 hours to the hotel, so it's gonna be a day. So anyway, I am going to be covering the Nintendo Direct and all of the goodies that are going to be releasing or being announced whenever I get back next week. So do look forward to that. Sorry I'm not going to be able to cover it, but sorry, my cousin's wedding comes first. I mean, just gotta say. Today's video is sponsored by Rune Factory 3 Special in collaboration with Xseed and Daredrop, which is available now for the Nintendo Switch and PC via Steam. Here, you bridge the divide of an ancient schism between humans and monsters as a half-human, half-woolly protagonist, Micah. Farm, fight, and fall in love as you revisit a classic in the series that perfected the blend of an RPG and life sim genres. Settle down in an idyllic fantasy town as a young adventurer with a monstrous secret in Rune Factory 3 Special, remastered now for a new generation. So, if you're as excited about this as I am, please be sure to use the link located in the video description and pinned comment to get your own awesome Golden Memories Collector's Edition. And now with that, let's get on with this week's new RPG news. Next up, we have Tokyo Game Show and Level 5. I love Level 5. They're one of my favorite developers out there, and they have announced their timetable, and there's a whole article on it, but rather than looking at the article, I just want to go over this timetable here because it just sets everything up so nicely. First things first, on Saturday they're going to be talking about Fantasy Life. I cannot wait. They got a concert going on. They have something about Rain Code, and Professor Layton says how to make a memorable mystery game. Then it goes on about leading voice actors being announced, voice actors versus jewelry heist, Deca Police, awesome. That's that kind of police detective game that they've talked about. Then it talks about the 25th anniversary special live concert. The next day, they move on to more Professor Layton stuff, another concert it looks like. They have a Professor Layton times Quiz Knock mystery show. Then it has Inazuma 5 Chronicle stage show, has a tour, and then another concert right there. So a lot of stuff is going on with Level 5. I, for one, am so mostly looking forward to Fantasy Life. The RGG Summit is set for September 20th. Lots of announcements going on here, from a Nintendo Direct, the RGG Summit, to the Tokyo Game Show. Lots of stuff going on here. But this one's going to be featuring Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. These are previously known as the Yakuza games. They've changed their names to this Like a Dragon thing. So we're just going to get more information on these two games, and The Man Who Erased His Name is due out from the PS5, Xbox, PS4, and PC on November 9th, and then Infinite Wealth is due out early 2024 for the same platforms as well. Both of these games I am actually looking forward to. I don't have a lot of Yakuza experience, pretty much just Like a Dragon because, you know, it's turn-based, but I loved what I played there. It was one of the best games of the year whenever that came out. We have some new announcement for PlayStation Plus. They're adding a Nier Replicant, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, Sid Meier's Civilization 6, among other games. I'm just going to be going through and talking about the games that I actually care about, such as Star Ocean, The Divine Force. Actually, every single Star Ocean game besides Star Ocean 2, because God forbid they actually add, the best one, is going to be added to the PlayStation Plus program. Odin Sphere is also coming to PlayStation Plus. This is a 2D action RPG by Vanillaware. It's absolutely gorgeous. I think that you'll really, really like that if you haven't played that. Let's go on and see what else is down here. Okay, Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness. This is probably the worst Star Ocean ever made, but if you want to play it, just to check it out, it won't take you long at all. It's like 10 to 15 hours. It is ridiculously short, but it's also ridiculously bad. First Departure R is coming out. That's the PSP remake. Till the End of Time, that's the third game in the series. The Last Hope, that's the fourth game in the series. Those are all coming out, as well as Dragon's Crown Pro. That's another 2D action RPG. Those are coming out for the PlayStation Premium service right there, so that's pretty cool. Lots of great JRPGs coming out for these digital services over on PlayStation right now. Probably trying to deal with some of the backlash of their price hikes, just saying. I thought that this was interesting. Capcom is considering how to approach making new Mega Man games, and the subtitle goes on to say, there's only been 3 main entries in the past 15 frickin' years. I remember whenever I was a kid, there were 6 entries just on the NES alone, and Mega Man was one of my favorite series, actually. Back when I would play Final Fantasy, I'd play the Dragon Quests 1 through 4, I'd play Mega Man 1 through 6, I had them all, and I loved them. They were a boatload of fun, but now it just seems that they've almost somewhat maybe even abandoned the series. It just seems weird. It goes on to say, the releases of Mega Man 9 in 2008, Mega Man 10 in 2010, and Mega Man 11 in 2018 have marked the only major Mega Man games in the past 15 years. However, they did do that Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, which sold more than 1 million copies since it was released in April, and then they go on to say that that contributed to a user expansion. More people are being exposed to Mega Man, specifically the Mega Man RPGs. Yeah. So maybe they are going to go into Mega Man Legends? Maybe? One can only hope. So they go on to say that they want to take care in how we develop this series. We're considering how to approach the production of new entries in the series, which requires numerous factors, including the development of solid concept, ideas, and gameplay. I don't know what you need. You have like Robot Masters, 8 Robot Masters, and then you go through their stages, and then you defeat Dr. Wily. If you do a regular one, but if you do an RPG, then maybe they need that solid concept, those ideas, and those gameplays. When asked specifically about more ports or retro compilations, they added that we're considering our approach to ports of past entries titles, which includes addressing technical issues. Good! Because I bought the Mega Man Anniversary Collection for the PS2, I don't know, 20-something years ago, whenever that came out, and the A and B buttons were reversed with the X and the O buttons, so it wasn't the same control scheme that it had on the NES, and to me, unplayable. I couldn't do it. The muscle memory that I had from what was shoot and what was jump was completely backwards for me, and I was completely unplayable. I was so pissed about it. But hopefully, they actually go in for a quality game, that they are considering doing more RPGs since the Battle Network series sold so well. Hopefully. One of my most anticipated games of this month, Infinity Strash Dragon Quest The Adventure of Dai, has 2 extra modes, the Temple of Recollection and a challenge mode. From what I can gather from each mode, it looks like the Temple of Recollection is kind of like the Ancient Cave in Lufia 2. It says that it's unlocked by progression through the story mode. Once inside, players will meet the Keeper of Memories, who tasks you with journeying into the depth. But be warned, each time Dai enters, the difficulty will start at level 1, and players can only bring the party members and bond memories that they've collected thus far in story mode. And it says, once a certain number of rooms are conquered, players can choose to either explore further or claim the rewards obtained so far, but beware, if you are defeated, all the rewards will be lost. That screams Ancient Cave Lufia 2 to me. Then there's the challenge mode. It says that this is like a post-game thing. After completing the full story mode, you'll unlock challenge mode, where you get to fight even stronger opponents from the story mode. Prepare to experience remixed versions of battles facing the story mode as Dai and his fellow disciples of Avon battle against stronger versions of the 6 Legion commanders of the Dark Lord and more. This is coming out September 28th for the PS5, PS4, Switch, PC, and Xbox, and boy oh boy, if you like RPGs and you like Dragon Quest, buy this so that we can get more Dragon Quest in the West. I love Dragon Quest. This week, Disgaea 7 Vows of the Virtuous, their demo came out for the PS4, PS5, and Switch, and the save data will carry over to the full game. So worry not about that. This is coming out on October 3rd for North America, October 6th over in Europe, and apparently October 13th in Oceania. So it's going to be a minute for it to be out, worldwide and everything. But in the meantime, you can play the demo and really do see what it's all about. It seems to be kind of almost like a reboot of the series, because Disgaea 6 didn't exactly, get the best reviews ever. And they're setting this in a kind of, Eastern, Asian, Oriental version of Hell, rather than a more traditional netherworld that we normally see, so this could be interesting. Animation RPG Breakers Unlock the World is a new RPG that's supposed to be like you're playing an anime, and they released a trailer, which is 15 whole seconds long, and it was like the shortest trailer I've ever seen in my entire life, so get ready to watch the exact same thing on loop constantly. Coming out for the PC, iOS, and Android, it's going to be playable at the Tokyo Game Show as well. It says it's an animation RPG in development for PC and smartphone, an all-new original title that depicts the story of a journey to the Library of God at the farthest ends of the earth where all knowledge of the world is accumulated. The journey of the characters brought to life through cel-shaded rendering will invite you to a gameplay experience that feels like playing an anime. Kind of reminds me of the exact same story of that new mobile Atelier game where she had to go to the ends of the earth to go to a library or something, but I don't know. I hear mobile and then I hear Atelier and I hear, nope, ignore, but that's just me. Mercenaries Wings, The False Phoenix, and Mercenary Saga series will be coming out to the PC on October 12th. These are pretty much strategy RPGs in the same vein as something along the lines of Final Fantasy Tactics or Tactics Ogre. It looks like Mercenary Wings and The False Phoenix is currently available for the PS4 and Switch, whereas the 3 Mercenary Saga games are already available over on the Switch as part of the Mercenary Saga Chronicles collection. But they are not available for the PC, but they are now. They're relatively cheap. The Mercenary Wings one is $15, but each Mercenary Saga one is $12. So if you were looking for another strategy RPG in the same vein as something along the lines of Final Fantasy Tactics, then you might want to check this out. Fantasy fishing RPG Whisker Waters is announced for the PS5, Switch, and PC, due out early next year. Let me read the overview, and then let me give you my opinion. It says that Whisker Waters is the ultimate RPG adventure. Ultimate RPG adventure, yeah. Adventurous, where you go around the world. That blends light fantasy and the art of fishing into a mesmerizing world. As a player, you'll create and play as your very own cat character and embark on a whimsical fishing journey like never before. I'm trying to keep a straight face. What sets Whisker Waters apart from other RPGs is its unique and creative focus on fishing. Players will use a variety of fishing tools and techniques to explore the semi-open world, complete quests, and catch a wide variety of different fish. Each fish has its own unique behavior, making the fish experience more challenging and rewarding than ever before. I can't with this. If there's something that I hate in RPGs, it's fishing. I find it incredibly boring, and to have an entire RPG built around an incredibly boring minigame is just what? And then whenever they talk, they build it, the ultimate RPG adventure. Woo! It reminds me of let's say Breath of Fire 2, where you go all the way around the world, transform into dragons, fly like a bird. That's an ultimate RPG adventure. Sitting around as a cat with one village and fishing? That's not an ultimate RPG adventure, but hey, if you want this game, get it. Nayuta Boundless Trails is coming out next week, September 19th, quickly coming up. This is the latest entry in the Legend of Heroes series, and I just wanted to remind y'all that if you want the collector's edition of this game, it is still available. It's $90. The game itself is like $60, so for $30 more, you do get quite a bit of cool stuff. You get the Starfall Symphonies, soundtrack, you get an Endless Horizons booklet, you get a little bookmark over there, you get the collector's box, you get the little acrylic stand, so a lot of stuff. I do like to support good, properly priced, well done collector's editions that do give you a good bang for your buck. I think that that's important to talk about. This is actually an action RPG, whereas the other games in the Legend of Heroes series are more turn-based. This is kind of like Ys meets Legend of Heroes, and I played the PSP version back in the day, and it's a whole lot of fun. I saw this, and I had to talk about it. It just looks right up my alley. It says, retro-style action RPG Journey Record has been announced for the PC, due out in 2024. At a glance, this game looks like a retro 2D RPG, but this is actually an action RPG where you use the magic eye camera and crystals to swap between seeing the world in 2D or 3D, and you progress through puzzle-like stages as you fight your way across the land. A young girl has lost her vision and is accompanied by her best friend, a cat with the magic eye camera, and she sees the world through the lens of that camera. By using the power of the crystals, she can look at the world from a variety of perspectives and eventually discover the truths of this world. This looks so cool. It's like 2D meets 3D meets HD 2D, but it's action, and it's like, I don't know, it's just cool. It's just unique. It's games like this, like unique games, that really excite me. Not games where you sit around as a cat and go fishing. Here we go. Megami Bunroku Persona Iku no Touhen is going to be released September 14th for the Nintendo Switch and Steam, to be announced. This is kind of a strange story right here. This is coming out in Japan, and this is a side story based upon Revelations Persona, developed by mobile developer BBMF. It follows a side story where the protagonists are transported to another demon-infested world after their battle in the SEBEC building. The game features systems from the original game such as Demon Negotiation and Fusion, whilst also featuring new systems and scenarios. If the party is wiped out, all money and items will be lost. It says that this is a series of re-releases of mobile titles for the Nintendo Switch and PC, and the Gmode archives refers to third-party titles not originally developed by Gmode. So I'm like, what is this? And apparently this was like a flip phone game developed in Japan back in like 2006 and only released in Japan. But now that it's coming out on the PC and the Switch, more than likely it's going to be translated into English. Probably not by Atlas, but by, just modders and hackers. So I went to the trailer page over here on YouTube, and I found this comment, which actually clears up quite a bit of misconceptions. So I'm going to read to y'all this comment right here. It says, to clear up some misconceptions, this is not a port of Persona 1, but the mobile game released back in 2006. Atlas had nothing to do with this. This game was all Gmode. This probably means that the port other lost Mega 10 mobile games like the one with Aegis or Hazama's chapter. This port is exclusive to Japanese audiences. Gmode does not seem too interested in the English market. However, it's coming to Switch and the PC, so somebody will most likely do a fan translation for this if there is enough interest. Please be grateful that lost media like this phone game is now thankfully preserved. I just saw this story and I had to share it because it's just so interesting. And our final story of the day, Square Enix has lost nearly $2 billion in market value since Final Fantasy XVI's release. Employees and analysts are expressing concerns about its development structure as well as its quality control. Its stock has fallen 30% from its peak this year, wiping out almost $2 billion from the company's market value. This comes because they announced and said that it failed to meet the high end of the company's expectations, that basically Final Fantasy XVI only just met expectations right there. Then it also goes on to say, This follows the disappointing performance of other big-budget releases, like the live service flop Marvel's Avengers. And they're still thinking about NFTs too, and they're still talking about more live service stuff. They talk about Forspoken, up there, the debut game which launched to lackluster sales, according to the company. You think? Then it goes on to talk to some anonymous employees. It says that they claim that the company is suffering from issues with its game development structure and quality control, while analysts express concern about its longer-term prospects. Flooding the market with unfinished, bad, or untested games is a bad move. Yes, you don't say. He says that referencing Marvel's Avengers, Forspoken, and the Diofield Chronicle, I actually kind of like the Diofield Chronicle, but I get what he's saying. It was a very bare bones, basics, by the book. Here are your 4 party members, here are your enemies, go out and fight. It wasn't a grandiose adventure out there like that fishing game was supposed to be. A grand adventure of fishing. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I'm done making fun of this stupid game. The company has overstretched itself in too many titles without proper oversight. Current and former Square Enix employees reportedly claim that one of the causes of such of these issues is their decision to give individual producers too much control over the scope and direction of its projects. They also said that games have suffered from inadequate documentation and team structure. So, yeah. They go on. Remember last year? It was last December, and Square came out with 6 games, within 2 months. Do you remember that? It was boom, 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 boom. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, some of these games are okay. Some of them are I don't know. It was what was it? It was Diofield Chronicle. It was Various Day Life. It was Star Ocean 6. It was Harvestella. And it was Dragon Quest Treasures. That's 5 of them. Maybe it was just 5 of them. But yeah, they came out within 2 months of each other. And none of them were... Various Day Life was pretty super horrible, but that was a global port. None of them were spectacular. I mean, some of them were better than others, but I get what he's trying to say. He's trying to say, you can't just flood the market with mid games. You gotta flood the market with, spectacular games. And instead of, giving all of your budget to one game like Forspoken and then watching it bomb, maybe you should take some of that budget and put it to other games such as Dragon Quest Treasures, Star Ocean 6, Harvestella, and then those games could actually, really grow to become something really good. I personally liked those 3 games myself, so that's just my take on it. I would like to know what your take on this is, because it's always interesting. It's always fun to talk about Square, You always got to spill the tea on Square, see what's going on. I have a good time talking about Square. So that's it for this week's news. I will be coming to y'all whenever I get back from the wedding to discuss all the Nintendo Direct stuff. So do look forward to that, and as always, have a good day.